Monsters come in all shapes and forms. Robotniks are well known for their trickery. Whether it's Ivo or Gerald, you can always rest assured they got an evil trick up their sleeve. But there's one Robotnik who's been under everyone's radar. Meet Maria Robotnik, the innocent, perky girl of the family. Just look at her. Roller skates, teddy bear, the very picture of feminine innocence. A little too perfect, perhaps. Is Maria as transparent as it is portrayed, or does she have another side? A darker side, deeply hidden under the dirt and debris of this base. The decayed remains of what used to be her playing ground and this suspicious fresh-looking popcorn. We meet her strolling right into a military base, roller skating even, violating safety protocol. It's hard to not notice that something is off when we are first introduced to Maria Robotnik. How many teenagers still carry around a teddy bear, especially so right in the open? I suspect this 14-year-old has no restraint and only operates on impulsion. This would be confirmed when she crafted a tent in the middle of a kitchen, severely compromising the practicality of the room. We get no context of why she's here. She's related to one Gerald Robotnik, her grandfather and top scientist of the facility, and that's all we get to know. Showing none of the signs of sickness or special care she required like her game counterpart, we're left to assume she's here because no one else can babysit her during the summer. All summer camps now refuse to deal with such a destructive force of nature. Not that her grandfather does any supervising, or any of the military staff for that matter. She's essentially loose within a top secret facility to explore at her own leisure. Soon, she manages to sneak her way into several classified rooms. Perhaps she's looking for something. Is she merely curious, or is there something more sinister afoot? She certainly knows her way around security doors. Within a few hours, she's face to face to the USA's greatest held secret. Shadow, a captured alien with mysterious powers. Restrained at the centre of the base, he has no memories of anything before his capture. He has the mind of a child. Maria wastes no time manipulating him, conditioning him into a life of crime. Quickly establishing herself as the dominant force in their relationship, she quickly charms Shadow into committing several acts of vandalism. From Shadow's perspective, she's the only one treating him as more than just a research object. He's easily charmed by her whims. This makes him very vulnerable to toxic relationships and bad influences. According to the therapists of short-term residential treatment program for teens, love bombing is a tactic used by some toxic partners to overwhelm their partners with love and attention at the beginning of a relationship. This can make the victim feel like they have found their soulmate, but it is often used as a way to manipulate and control the other person, which will soon be proven by repetitive acts of abuse from Maria, such as humiliation rituals, physical assault, and gaslighting. But is there more? Maria steals some security passes and finds her way outside. Interesting flower patch on this entire barren mountain. Maria's personal garden, perhaps. Are those poppy flowers? Well. A variant of the poppy plant produces opium, whose derivatives include morphine and heroin. Interesting. Eventually, the situation changes dramatically. Gerald storms in, declaring they're being hunted by the military staff and they must make a run for it. The Robotniks try to escape, to devastating results. So what really happened? Let's take a look at the evidence. What would tempt a criminal mind like the Robotniks to infiltrate a US base? This is the 1970s, and the US military in the 70s were well known to be very tied up with drug experiments, both in securing them, testing them, and stopping them. When we meet Maria, she prominently carries her teddy bear around. For comfort? According to the DEA, plush toys have been very popular as a tool for drug smuggling, as their fillings can easily be taken out and replaced with illegal substances. If your teen is still holding on his or her adored childhood teddy bear, you may want to consider this, warns the DEA. Now let's take a look at Maria, in particular in her second outfit. Look familiar? It should. In this August 20th file photo from 1970, we see Charles Manson followers Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel and Leslie Van Houten. On their way to court, for their roles in the cult killings of 7 people in Los Angeles, wearing the very outfit we see on Maria. Charles Manson and his followers were deeply against the government and very addicted to drugs. Was Maria part of this group, or perhaps inspired by them? Gerald, working his way into the military by his technical capabilities, gets his alleged granddaughter to stay at the base, a very unusual and unlikely request, but we learn Gerald's skills are highly valuable to the military. This may have given him some high privileges. Maria enters the base, sneaks around the rooms, fills up the teddy bear with drugs and then leaves with no one the wiser. But then she runs into Shadow and plans change. As we know, Shadow is an alien hedgehog whose quills are highly addictive to the Robotniks. As with certain species of toad, it seems hedgehog quill juice is a highly addictive drug in and on itself. Maria and Gerald decide to up the stakes of their little drug operation. Why sneak out some drugs when you could have a whole hedgehog juice factory? However, things go wrong. As Maria is conditioning Shadow to trust her, she made the gravest mistake a drug dealer can make. She got addicted to her own wares. The hedgehog juice is too tempting and she starts losing her focus and made several fatal errors. She starts playing the song End of the Line, a song from the Travelling Wilburys published in 1988, and wears her cap backwards, which becomes popular in the early 90s, accidentally revealing her time-travelling powers. The more the shadow juice is flowing in her system, the more she becomes unstable. She is sabotaging the scientists' hard work, actively trying to harm them, and worse, she accidentally crashes into the soldiers' dessert cart. This incident will ultimately trigger her demise. As anyone familiar with military personnel can attest, you do not mess with their desserts. According to the Lee Bridge News, ice cream has been a morale booster since World War I. Desperate without the comforts of home, it's particularly fulfilling for those enduring long deployments. Delicious dessert can be the difference between a military well-oiled machine or a descent into madness. In normal circumstances, we know that gun soldiers are trained to never shoot no matter the situation, but how much stress a soldier can handle with that cake at his disposal? Right after the dessert incident, the base personnel finds out about Maria and Gerald's atrocities and start to prepare for an arrest. Gerald prepares as many canisters of Shadow Juice into a truck as possible before he runs to get Maria and Shadow. They're too late. After a brief face-off, one of the canisters of Shadow Juice is hit, causing a fatal explosion for Maria. Ironic. The Shadow Juice she got addicted to ends up causing her end. Gerald is arrested, but manages to pin the whole crime on Maria, as his prison time is eventually reduced and he's rehired as Gun's chief engineer, while Shadow's left deep inside the secret labs to be farmed for more Shadow Juice. Maria and Gerald's discovery of the powers of Shadow Juice are devastating, as the military starts losing their minds and remain suspiciously young as they get more and more addicted to the juice. Shadow Juice seems to have rejuvenating powers, at the cost of you losing your mind. The US military staff stationed at the base gets increasingly more mad and powerful, eventually getting their own separate government branch. Gun. Little does Gun know that Shadow and Gerald are both upset at the loss of their fallen comrade Maria, and left stewing for revenge. Revenge guac. The stage is set for disaster. And it's all because of this one girl. Trust no one. This was Professor Van Helsok, signing out.
This is the YouTube police! You've violated our truth policy! There are several inconsistencies and factual errors in your essay! You will be detained!
Try me! I fought zombies and vampires. I won't be scared by... There!